All right, so today we are going to talk about polynomial end behavior. This is your first new topic in the new unit of polynomial functions, so you might be a little confused. We don't know what a polynomial function looks like yet, but what you do know is what a polynomial looks like itself. So any polynomial, you have exponents, you have coefficients, you have multiple terms. So we are going to first look at just the graphs without equations. So a graph of a polynomial function looks anything like these. So you could have any sort of curvy line. This one happens to have two different curves. They look a little funky, but we are going to end up learning how to graph these. So there's first a couple of vocabulary ideas. So here on the right side of the graph, this is what you would write. You have x approaching infinity. Anytime you're going all the way to the right, you have x approaching infinity. So we read this as x approaches infinity. Over on the left, as you go on and on and on forever over there, you have as x approaches negative infinity. So these are really important to be able to read, and you're also going to have to write them as well. Now, we look left to right, and we also look top to bottom. If you're going up, you have f of x. Remember, that is kind of like y. F of x is approaching infinity. And we read that f of x approaches infinity. And as you go down, you have f of x approaching negative infinity. So similar, you're going left to right, negative infinity to infinity. Top to bottom, you have infinity and negative infinity as well. So we read that as f of x approaches negative infinity. So I'm going to use these little emojis in this presentation to try and help you out visually. The rocket ship obviously is going up. The submarine is going down. So let's look at our first example. Here is a polynomial function. On the left side, we'll start there. Notice that one is going up. It doesn't matter what x is always going to be going to negative infinity on the left side. What's going to change is if it's going to infinity on f of x or negative infinity. So here I'm going to infinity. So I would write this as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches infinity. If you notice on the right side, that one is going to negative infinity. So I have my little submarine. So this side, as x approaches infinity, f of x approaches negative infinity. So here's another example. I want you to take a second, look at this, and think about what you see on the ends. This is all about what's happening in the ends, not the middle, just the ends. So on the left side, as x approaches negative infinity, f of x is also approaching negative infinity. That one's going down. On the right side, I'm going up. So as x approaches infinity, f of x approaches infinity as well. So in these two examples that we've done, we've had both sides going opposite directions. We're going to learn in the future what makes those things go opposite directions. Right now, we're just focusing on how to write end behavior. So in this example, notice both sides are going down. So I have my submarine on the left. As x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches negative infinity as well. On the right side, I also have my submarine. As x approaches infinity, f of x approaches negative infinity. Here's another example. However, on this one, both sides are going up. On the left, as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches infinity. On the right, as x approaches infinity, f of x approaches infinity as well. Each time you write your end behavior, you're going to start with as x approaches negative infinity, and then you're going to figure out what happens to f of x. And then you're going to write as x approaches infinity, and then you're going to figure out what happens to f of x. So the x's are always written the same. It's the f of x's that are changing.